Welcome to the show that gets up close and personal with the most fascinating characters from the crypto sphere. Today's crypto god is trying to put Amazon out of business by bridging the gap between e-commerce and the metaverse. It's Boson Protocol co-founder and CEO, Justin Banon.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. I'm Alara, and first things first, please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Joining me today is our very own John Doe. Pleasure to have you here as well.
What is up?
Justin, welcome to the show. You're of course a pioneer in the metaverse space and essentially trying to create your own shopping center in the virtual world. Some of the partnerships and strides you've been making are of course revolutionary, and your work could change the way people shop.
Where things are going is actually tokenizing the assets on chain, and that's what Boson Protocol does, right? Tokenize real world products and services as NFTs or as on-chain tokens that can then be traded and then obviously purchase those on chain, rather than doing the more traditional thing of taking currency to point of sale. Let's say you go to a Tommy Hilfiger flagship store and you see in the window like a pair of sneakers that's a physical pair and a digital pair, but you can't buy those sneakers in store. You have to click a QR code, go to their metaverse space, play a game, and then you earn some NFT that unlocks the digital and unlocks the physical.
Wow.
So can you talk us through the journey of starting up Boson?
Sure. I started doing a blockchain master's and I thought, okay, what happens if instead of digital vouchers and paper vouchers, we represent real world products and services as like blockchain vouchers? So I did the crazy thing of leaving a really good job and dive straight into blockchain right in the middle of crypto winter. And we worked on this solution, launched our white paper and first version of the technology, and it got really well received by the kind of blockchain academics, and it got an amazing set of advisors, etc. And we raised around $36 million off the back of that, which was like 1 year ago. We launched V1 of the protocol, and we've just got this huge amount of traction off the back of it, which has been amazing. At the moment, the demand that we have outstrips the kind of scalability of V1, but we're launching V2 in the summer.
Yeah, like speaking of phygital items, I seen here in a tweet quoted by you that you see that this is the dawn of the phygital world. So like, what do you think this is? What happens to the traditional retail? And like, how long do you think until it becomes mainstream?
I had an interview with Tommy Hilfiger as part of Metaverse Fashion Week. He was a really lovely guy, by the way. And he said, look, it's a hygiene factor. If you want to stay relevant and you want to stay engaged, we know that we need to get into this now. And it's like the new interface, right? It's like the new web, the new mobile. And, of course, NFTs are big, digital wearables are big, but it's not an either or, right? I mean, pretty soon, and we're doing a lot of it this summer, if you go and buy a high-end, handbag, you buy like a $5,000 handbag or, luxury sneakers, you're going to feel shortchanged. If you buy the physical, it doesn't come with a digital wearable. Well, V1 enables it, but V2 just out of the box has got all of these features that just create these phygital twins.
What does V2 have that V1 doesn't?
Well, V1 was designed by me and my co-founder, who's a kind of a blockchain tech academic, and it works pretty well, but it's quite complex and it's not massively efficient in terms of the number of transactions necessary to perform like a purchase. So the main things about V2 are that it is an optimistic protocol, as I said, designed by one of the Ethereum Foundation researchers building Ethereum 2, so that it's super efficient. It's optimistic in terms of if nothing goes wrong, the transaction just passes straight through. And it's also far, far simpler. Complex game theory is kind of difficult to communicate for people to understand, and making it simpler, people get it. But also it's got support for things like digi-physicals, like you can get a basket of an NFT that contains a basket of other NFTs.
You mentioned, the Boson Protocol and hosting it on Decentraland. Why did you make that move?
Well, for a couple of reasons, really. Decentraland, we bought. We spent about like $700,000 on this piece of land last summer, and at the time there was quite a few community members who were like, "Well, what are you spending that much?" No one says now, right? It was like no one says, "Why did you buy it now?" Because it's probably worth 10 times the amount, right? It's a great investment. But Decentraland was then, and the clear most developed kind of Web3 metaverse in terms of community activity, also the technology itself, the smart contracts. The technology enabled us to implement our technology, so it was kind of a no-brainer. But sure, there are lots of metaverses springing up, and in parallel with launching V2, we will be grant funding integration into every metaverse, so that if you list something on Boson Protocol, you'll be able to sell it in every virtual world.
Damn. Does that mean you guys have some big collabs coming up in other metaverses or other brands?
Yeah, well, we've got big collaborations, a whole in parallel set of integrations plugging into all of those worlds in parallel with V2. It's not really our strategy to do as much as we're doing, but brands are like, we want to do this. Can you help us? So huge amounts of demand. I think Metaverse Fashion Week really just kind of lit the fuse, and the explosion is happening this summer. Obviously, everything is like under NDA and gets announced, but this summer is going to be this kind of summer of phygital.
I like the name because it does explain itself. It's a protocol. It's not like a separate platform, but it's a protocol that can be put on multiple platforms, and it basically provides a use case. So that brings me, I got a question about the utility token and also the name Boson. Where did that come from?
Well, I named the protocol, and I did a physics degree, and I'm a bit of a kind of physics and kind of geek, and so a boson is a carrier particle. And Boson Protocol is that it ferries digital value one way and physical assets the other way, and it's like a carrier or like a mediator between the digital and physical worlds.
Okay.
Yeah, if you give me a product to name, it's going to be pretty geeky.
Yeah.
So.
And Justin, when you founded the company, did you ever imagine that the metaverse space would evolve as quickly as it has in such a short space of time?
No, we knew pretty early on that if we could solve this problem, that what we were creating was this general purpose technology, right? Like TCP/IP, but instead of for data, it's for commerce, and that it could be used for all sorts of commerce. But as I said, build something that's useful, and then get people to use it. And so you have to look at what's the niche that you're going to launch into. You can't launch everywhere. We just started, hiring and people in the metaverse, learning about it, and placed a massive bet on the metaverse. And it's crazy that maybe 8 months later, it just went, spiked into this. Everyone. We never expected that. We thought maybe we'll get some good adoption there, right? We didn't think it would be a tsunami. I honestly have not spoken to a brand that does not recognize that this is the next big interface, and that this is central to competitive advantage. They all get it. They're just trying to work out how. And so there is quite a big conceptual leap, which is why we are working with brands and working with partners that are helping them kind of get into the technology. But they all just realize that this is like the web or mobile all over again times 10.
Yeah.
So that there is no need to convince them.
How's the competition for you guys? Are you guys the main? It seems like right now you guys are one of the main protocols giving this service, or
Well, we've got probably one of the best teams in crypto with about 8 PhDs working on a fundamental problem, and we're keeping V2 under wraps. That's why we've been pretty quiet. And so like for like competition, no. And, we'll launch the protocol and we'll have a good head start because it's breakthrough tech.
yeah.
But, Walmart, PayPal, Shopify, all of them are trying to plug in e-commerce into the metaverse. So like for like competitors, no. But we take the competition really seriously.
Tell me about the 1 million Dolce & Gabbana glass suit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the glass suit is a piece of fashion history. It's was the first physical and experiential piece of fashion created by one of the great fashion houses, Dolce & Gabbana. I mean, we've already had like numerous bids for people wanting to kind of, buy, and we had to really aggressively bid for it. So for us, it represents this piece of fashion history of exactly what Boson Protocol enables, which is this merging of digital, physical, and experiential. So digital, there's an NFT version of it. Physical, there's this physical suit. Experiential, it brings these benefits of being able to go to fashion shows and being part of this Dolce & Gabbana sort of family. So it's this iconic asset that we have some very, very big plans for around the launch of V2, which I'm sworn to secrecy by our marketing team, and I can't share.
No leaks.
Maybe offline.
Yeah, I get accused of blurting, so yeah.
Hope you've all enjoyed the conversation, and as always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below to see what else you'd like to hear from us. That's it from all of us. Until next time, thank you.